Hey, what's up guys? This is David, back at it. It's been about a month since I've seen you, so I'm starting a 12-week program, which is leading me into my next powerlifting competition. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm starting out here, what's been going on with me. For about the last 4 weeks, I've been dealing with a lot of minor injuries. I had to get a cortisone shot in one of my shoulders. I've been dealing with a little bit of a back injury that seems to be going away now. Now I have something wrong with kind of my hip flexor groin area, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But starting this 12-week program, I like to structure my programs in a block periodization style. So this first block is going to be a little bit higher repetitions, more volume. So I will be doing, here you'll see me doing sets of 6 on bench. This is with 230. I'm in an undisclosed location. Actually, we had a snow day on Monday, and I was supposed to do legs on Monday, but because of the snow day, my gym wasn't open, so I had to lift somewhere else, and all I could find was the bench press. So I'm actually really happy I was able to work out without my shirt on, able to finally see my arch, and it actually looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way my arch is on the bench press. With these benches, 6 reps, you can see pausing on the last rep. I did I think a 4x6 or 5x6 or something like that, and then I did some slingshot work afterwards like I usually do. But because really I could only use the bench press, I wasn't able to get in much assistant work that day. I was able to do dumbbell floor press, single arm dumbbell floor press, which is actually worked the core pretty well, but dumbbells only went up to 50 pounds, so I did sets of 15, and it was okay. You know, you gotta make do with what you have some days, and like I said, since it was a snow day. Here's 255 by 5, then the rest of the sets were done with 265. Was able to only get 3 on most of them. Thought I should have gotten more than 3, but without a spotter, it was like midnight when I started working out too. I really didn't want to chance it. But yeah, this first block I like to run a higher volume. So this whole week was really frustrating for me because I was sore. Not only sore, but hurting, like I said, in my right hip flexor, psoas, groin. I'm not really sure what it is, but it really bugs me with squats. And so what you'll notice is I had to make do, and I had to, you know, still work out. So I did a lot of box squatting this week. Where do I think I am right now? I'd like to hope that my squat is around conservatively 450. It may be higher than that, especially once I'm heavy. Excuse me, once I'm healthy, might be heavier than that. My deadlift probably around 550, and my bench around 285-ish. So here is my first leg day of the week, which is supposed to be a 4x8, and it ended up being a 3x8 because when I would squat, my hip flexor, it was like there was a knife going into my hip flexor on the right side. And I was able to deal with it for the first couple sets. The third set, it got really bad. And then the final set, I did 1 rep, and I had to rack it because it just hurt so bad. One thing I'm actually kind of happy with is it looks like my depth is actually okay on most of these reps, considering my hip flexor is hurting, and that's when it hurts, is when I get deep in the hole. So I tried doing a lot of mobility work this week. I tried stretching it out. Nothing seemed to work. I'm going to start icing it this week and see. I'm talking to you, I say this week. It's Thanksgiving week, so I just actually got done with my heavy squat session today, and I think I'm going to take the rest of the week off from squats, be icing it and everything, and hopefully by next week it'll be back to normal. One thing I've been doing with my squats recently is I've been watching a lot of videos online, and I don't think I've ever known how to activate my glutes in the squat. And I've always been a quad dominant squatter, and you can see, you know, you can see it in my lifts. but I'm really starting to try to activate my glutes. So right before I squat, I actually have been squeezing my glutes, and the biggest problem I have is I lose tension right when I start squatting. Now, a couple things that I'm trying to help fix this is do a little bit more glute and hamstring work. You'll notice I have straight leg deadlifts that I'm doing in my programming. I'm doing what's called a goblet squat, where you kind of hold a kettlebell out in front of you. I'm doing a lot more mobility work, a lot more stretching, kind of focusing on opening up those hips, opening up that groin area. When I'm squatting, like I said, I'm focusing on squeezing my ass. I'm focusing on grabbing the floor with my feet. I've never really done that either. And I can say just today, I was able to notice a lot more tension in my hamstring and glutes. So after I got done with that 3x8, a little bit frustrated, but was able to do these straight leg deadlifts without too much pain, really focusing on firing my glutes. I believe I did 335 for a 5x6. Like I said, this is a high volume block, so just trying to get a lot of volume in. Here's a little bit of a look at Wednesday. I did a lot of work Wednesday. It was overhead press and benching. My overhead press was a 6x6. I did 3 sets of 145 and then 3 sets of 150. It moved pretty good, considering, like I said, I had to have a cortisone shot in my right shoulder. I had really bad right shoulder pain for a while. Don't really know what the reason was, but thinking things are back to normal here. Sorry for all the weird camera angles you're going to see. The gym is just so crowded lately. I really don't know why, and people don't really care if I have a camera set up, so they'll just walk in front of it, or they'll hit it and knock it down. So I'm just doing the best I can with it. But yeah, these overhead presses moved pretty good, like I said, considering I haven't done the movement in a while, or really focused on the movement in a while. Here's 150. 150 was a little bit more of a struggle, but I believe I've never done 6 reps of 150 before, so I'll take it. Yeah, this next week for Thanksgiving, I'm going to get my heavy work in. Like I said, I did my squats today, which is Monday. I'm going to do bench and hopefully deadlift tomorrow. That's going to be heavy. So I guess that cut off a little early. Then after the overhead press, I do my speed squats with band tension. Moves pretty good. But yeah, so that way I'll get my heavy stuff done on Monday and Tuesday. I'm traveling Wednesday. I'm traveling Thursday. And I don't know if I'll be able to get a workout in Friday or Saturday. It's just kind of going to depend on what's going on at home. So I'm at least able to get my heavy stuff out of the way at the beginning of the week. Was able to get all of my squatting in today. A lot of pain, but I still was able to do it. Thursday, you can see I did heavy deadlifts and then some light box squats. And I was supposed to use 445 for my deadlifts, and it just was not feeling right. I had kind of my hamstrings are really tight. Like I said, this is only 2 days after that first initial 3x8, which was kind of high volume with the straight leg deadlifts. So it was not feeling good at all, and so I decided, all right, if my hamstring's tight, I'm just going to throw the deadlift up on some blocks. So I grabbed the 3.5 inch bumper plates, put the deadlift on there, so I didn't have to reach down as far, and I did a 5x5 with 455 off of that. Like I said, it was really frustrating because I wanted to do 445 for a 5x5 with just normal deadlifts, but it just did not feel good. And sometimes you got to make changes. My program called for 445 regular deadlifts, but I had to adapt to my body, and that's something you learn over time, how to do that. It's great having a program to give you a little bit of structure, but if you aren't feeling good, especially with your body, you don't want to you don't want to hurt yourself, and you don't want to do anything stupid. So doing these off of bricks, or off of blocks helped me. Did some box squatting after that, and then to get back on schedule, I had to box squat and do legs on Friday, so the day after that last video. So I believe Thursday my box squats were, I did 2 sets of 3 with 275, and then 4 sets of 3 with 295, I think. And then Friday my box squatting, I did 2 sets of 3 with 315 and 6 sets of 2 with 335. And I like to put the box at just at parallel. The reason I did the box squatting this week was because of that psoas hip flexor pain, and I don't seem to have a whole lot of pain when I do box squatting. I don't know if it's just because like I said, I'm not going super deep. I put it right at parallel or a little bit above, so I don't know, but once again, you got to make do with what you can and get the work in. So instead of hurting myself and doing full range squats, just like with a deadlift, instead of doing full range deadlifts, just kind of had to modify the movement slightly. You know, we always have, like I've talked about this before, we have these goals, and the only way to succeed is to work towards those goals. And it would have been really easy for me to not do any work this week, but I knew that I could box squat, and I knew that I could deadlift off of those bumper plates, and so if I could do it without any pain or much pain, I'm going to do it. And I knew that Thanksgiving was coming up and I was going to have some time off, so you know, if I would have skipped out on some of these leg days just because it was difficult this week, I would have basically had kind of 2 weeks off, and that's not a good way to start out a 12-week cycle. Saturday, took the day off, rested, drank a bunch of beer, watched some football, watched powerlifting competition. Sunday is kind of the day I hate because I do biceps and back. I do a little bit of chest beforehand, do that OU press or the Spoto press. I did 225 for 3 sets of 5, and then I did 230 for a set of 5. You can see getting a really nice pause. Remember, this is a pause like about an inch off my chest. In this video it looks like I'm on my chest, but I'm actually about an inch off of it. Moved really well. My left arm was kind of shaking a lot when I was doing it for some reason, but other than that, moved pretty good. I did a 3x3 with close grip bench press afterwards, just working on speed. Then I did another chest exercise, did some bent over rows, pull-ups, and then some bicep work. Like I said, this week was kind of hectic, body was sore, didn't get nearly as much accessory work as I wanted to, and hoping, and then for Thanksgiving week, I'm not going to get a lot of accessory work in, but hoping after that and after my exams and everything, once the 8-week mark comes, I will have a lot more time to focus on training. But this is just the start of the cycle, and it's going pretty well. So on that note, enjoy life, enjoy chalk, and enjoy beer.